averaging 17 points a game. Sam Houston averaging 14 points a game. And Brad, when you look at the Sam Houston defense, they allow just over 300 yards a game. That's ninth in District 7-5A. By contrast, the Colt defense allowing 236 yards a game. That's fifth overall, but no one has scored on the Arlington defense in the last 10 quarters. But I would imagine that Sam Houston's passing game will be on target tonight, and they've got some quality receivers in Doug Seitz and John Greer. You can never have a lapse on the defense against the likes of those two, and the arm of Gary Langley.
Very true, John. And Sam's going to have to watch out for John Wilson. The Sam Houston rushing defense, as you mentioned, has been pretty porous most of the year. And John Wilson, ranking third in the state, could very possibly have a big night rushing tonight. We'll keep an eye on him. He's number 41. He's wearing the white jersey tonight and green helmets. Langley, on the other hand, is only completed about approximately 38% of his passes. He's had 18 intercepted out of 208 attempted, almost 1 out of 9. But he is capable of throwing that bomb anytime, and he can throw the ball a long way. And as you mentioned, 2 of the top receivers in the state. And I think, John, really, those 2 receivers have shown that they can play on anybody's team. It's not just the case that Sam Houston throws the ball a lot. They are good receivers, and they do manage to get into the clear quite often. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, one on the ground for Arlington High tonight, one in the air for Sam Houston. However, if Arlington does have to go to the air, Mike Fuller, the quarterback, can do that, and he has passed for 593 yards this year, and he ranks pretty well up there in the area leaders in passing.
Well, Sam Houston won the coin toss, and they elect to defend the north goal. Arlington High will receive. This is the next to last game here at Wildman Field for Sam Houston. They'll close it out. A homecoming affair against Haltom on November the 7th. By the way, if you saw our game last week with the Lamar Martin matchup, running back to Sean Durham broke his leg just above the ankle in the second quarter. He's out for the year. And backup quarterback Paul Perkle suffered a similar injury in Martin's second drive of the game. He is gone for the year. Both Durham and Perkle suffered breaks of the fibula, the smaller inner bone of the lower left leg. So bad news for the Martin Warriors. If you saw our game last week, it did not look good, and that's the situation for Durham and Perkle.
That's too bad, because Durham is a good running back, and he was headed for a very good year this year, and it looks like he's going to have a sensational senior year. In fact, it's going to be interesting next year because John Wilson, the outstanding running back for Arlington High, is also a junior. So there's going to be 2 goodies in this district next year.
All right, we're just about set. As Phil Stover, number 20, will kick to Chris Cordero and Mike Allen. Allen, number 8, and Cordero, number 22. They're coupled together at the 3-yard line. Stover hits it pretty good. Allen fields it at the 1. Over the 15, finds a seam, breaks to the outside. He could go 40, 45, and thrown out of bounds at the 47-yard line. An outstanding return for Mike Allen.
And Phil Stover, the kicker, was the only man that had a shot at him, and he knocked him out of bounds right around the 48-yard line in Arlington territory. Good run back.
Arlington Colts on the ground, averaging 241 yards a game. The number 1 team offensively in 7-5A. Through the airways, they average 88 yards a game. And quarterback Mike Fuller will send Monty Horst to the near side on 1st and 10 at Arlington's 47-yard line. There's the give to the fullback, James, and he might have lost a half a yard. Whole host of Texans meet him at the line of scrimmage.
Mike Allen and David Carnes in on the tackles that time.
David Hanks, number 57, also in there. So call it 2nd down and just over 10.
Good field position for Arlington to start the game. This gives them a break for their running game right off the bat.
Arlington 3-4 overall. Sam Houston 0-7. There's that Colt I formation with Wilson, the tailback. Tight end in tight to the left. Here's Big John over the line of scrimmage, over midfield and into Sam Houston territory at the 46-yard line. Around the ball, Scott Hines, number 33. John Wilson comes into this game with 1,104 yards. In fact, this is the earliest that a running back in the Dallas-Fort Worth area has rushed for 1,000 yards since Jeff Atkins did it for Eastern Hills back in 1982. So we'll keep the numbers on John Wilson. He's averaging 150 yards a game. It'll be third down and about 5 at the Texan 46. Wilson first down and more. 35, 30. John Wilson inside the 25, finally tripped up at the 23-yard line. And the explosiveness of John Wilson, Brad, I was reading an article about John, and his favorite running back is Bo Jackson. He likes to run over people, and that's evidence of it right there, right up the gut.
And he broke into the clear real quickly, too. Strong running back. Sean Brennan brought him down. You might keep an eye on defense for Sam Houston, number 33, linebacker Scott Hines. He is their leading tackler, and he'll probably be on the ball and the ball carrier all night long.
Krotz, number 19, wide to the right on 1st and 10. There's the bread and butter of the Colt offense once again. Wilson met at the line of scrimmage. Matt Leo, number 72, making the initial hit. Not much at all, as Monty Horse, number 13, brings in the play from head coach Mike O'Brien in his 12th year at Arlington High. It'll be second down and just over 10 at the 23.5. Colts have won 2 in a row, coming off a 24-0 shutout to Halton. Chip Joslin with 2 touchdown catches last week, the tight end, number 88. On 2nd and 10, here's a counter, and Wilson struggling to the 20-yard line. A tough 3 yards. Hines, number 33, down underneath.
Yeah, and Matt Leo was in on that tackle again, too. Wilson drives. Boy, for a junior, he drives hard. A lot of strength. That offensive line, too, Wilson gives them all the credit in the world.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Brian Rumsey at center, Johnny Parker and David Perkins at the guards, and Chip Joslin tight end, and Willick and Snyder at the tackles.
At the 20, it'll be third down and 5. Play goes left, thrown left, in and out of the hands of Krotz at the 14-yard line. So the first pass attempt is unsuccessful for Mike Fuller.
Tough play that time for the receiver. He had to turn back around the other way and go up in the air, and that's a tough catch for anybody.
On 4th down, Craig Morrissey, number 31, comes in with his holder, Aaron Estrada. Morrissey's longest field goal this year was 47 yards, and this will be right at 37 yards. Slight angle to the left for Craig Morrissey, a junior. Estrada puts it down. Morrissey hits it pretty good, has the distance, and misses to the left. So the first drive is thwarted as Sam Houston will take over.
He has a lot of leg, but that one just pulled a little bit to the left. So now we'll see Gary Langley take to the air undoubtedly as the offense and defense has changed for the two teams. 8:59 to go in the first quarter, no score yet. Beautiful night for football, isn't it, John?
Oh, yeah, it really is. Slight wind out of the south, about 60 degrees at kickoff. Now it's shifting around out of the southwest even as we look at the flag. The man under, number 12, Gary Langley, the senior, 83 out of 214 and 1,243 yards on the year. The first play over left guard. And that's Todd Atkins, a 171-pound senior. He had 90 yards rushing last week against Grapevine. Atkins over the 25 is upset at the 26-yard line. It'll be second down and 4 at the Texan 26.
Damon Graham, a senior, 175 pounds, came up from his defensive back position, actually safety position, to make the stop that time.
John Greer, number 82, flexed out to the right on 2nd and 4. Backs are split, and this is Atkins again, twisting to the 28-yard line. Todd Atkins, the only running back with a rushing touchdown this year.
Jason Bowers and Brian Gilmore on the stop that time for Arlington.
Sam Houston averaging 14 points a game offensively and 61 yards on the ground, and that's last in the district stats. So it's third down and a tough yard ahead. At the 29, Langley mishandles the snap. Covering up for Arlington is Jason Bowers, number 34. He lost a yard as his knee went down at the 28. So it'll be 4th and 2, and in comes the punt team. Sean Brennan, number 31. Chris Cordero back deep for Arlington High, standing at the 25. Brennan gets it off very high. Cordero runs up, fields it at the 26, starts right up the middle, gets about 4 or 5 quick yards, breaks one tackle, still on his feet over the 35, and brought down at the 40. A punt of 44 yards from Sean Brennan, and Cordero gives Arlington excellent field position again as they start this drive at their own 40.
Nice return by Cordero, brought down by David Hanks, number 57. Cordero broke 2 or 3 tackles to get up as far as he did at the 40-yard line.
Chip Joslin, number 88, split out to the left. On 1st and 10, now Krotz inside of Joslin. I formation, James the fullback. Fuller gives to Wilson, right over the center, 45, and right at midfield. About 9 yards for John Wilson.
Great balance. Went down, actually used his left hand to support himself and keep going, picked up another 4 yards after he did that.
112 yards last week for John Wilson. He's got 8 touchdowns.
He's got 42 yards already tonight.
Number 3 in the state in rushing. 2nd down and about a yard at the Arlington 49. Krotz in motion, now set off to the left side. Fuller trying to ad-lib and might have gotten to midfield. He had started right and might be a little short, about a half a yard short, as Arlington faces 3rd down.
I'm not sure he wanted to do that, John. Looked like there might have possibly have been a mix-up in the backfield that time.
Monty Horst in with the play. 3rd down and a yard with 6 minutes remaining in the opening period. No score. James, a fullback, now Krotz, as he draws the attention of the right cornerback, Brennan. Here's the give to Wilson, very close for the 1st down. Needed to get to the Sam Houston 48.5-yard line, and he might have it.
I think he does.
Trying to hang on with a...
Well, now they moved it back a little bit, John. He may not have it.
Pat Brooks was hanging on with his right ankle. That's very close. He needed to get to about the 48.5 as they will bring in the sticks from the near side. They have asked for the measurement. Last week against Haltom, Arlington with 24 first downs, 273 yards rushing, and the defense limited the Buffaloes to just 48 total yards. So Arlington with a little momentum the last 2 weeks. There's a stretch of the chains, and it is a little short. Oh, it is. He got it.
He got it.
About a half a length of the football as Arlington picks up a 1st down with 5:39 remaining. Their 2nd. Tommy Bates, number 14, checks in. Joslin and Krotz split out to the near side, and Bates along the other way. On 1st and 10 at the Sam Houston 49, here's Wilson trying to cut right and runs into David Hanks, number 57. Also number 72, Matt Leo, 192-pound senior in the action. So not much at all for John Wilson. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
That's 2 straight times now they've stopped him, John, on the right side of that line. It'll be in. That's where Broninger is over there on that right side also.
Number 76.
Regarded by many as the top prospect in the state this year.
2nd down, 10. Play coming left, throwing left, caught at the 44. Joslin spinning away for about 3 more yards down to the Sam Houston 41. Tackle made by Greg Edwards, and David Carnes Joslin, as we mentioned, with 2 touchdown catches last week. On the year now, 12 catches, 190 yards.
That was good second effort on his part, too. He picked up another 3 yards after the initial hit.
In fact, Chip was a homecoming king last week. And the homecoming queen, Carol Estrada from the volleyball team. 3rd down and a couple for Arlington at the Sam Houston 41-yard line. Power I. Wilson gets it over right guard, hurtling to the 38-yard line, and will be very close for yet another Arlington first down. Down underneath, it looks like David Carnes, number 22, as they indicate 1st and 10. First down number 3. So Arlington sticking to the ground, Brad. They have thrown twice. And if they find a soft belly on that left side, they may continue to hit the shortstop. Krotz can go deep, though. Dennis McCarty, number 82, wide to the left on this 1st and 10 play. At the 38, Fuller looks deep, pumps once, and throws across the middle. Joslin, number 88, open at the 35. And it'll bring up 2nd down. So Fuller 1 for 3 in the passing department. 590 yards coming into this game, 4 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions. 2nd and 10 from the Sam 38. I formation. Here's John Wilson over left guard, breaks the initial surge, pops off of another tackler, and gets down to the 29-yard line. About 9.5 yards for John Wilson. Coming up to secure the stop for Sam Houston, Brad Harvey, number 75. But, Brad, if you go in there and attempt to take on John Wilson one-on-one, you're going to lose. You're going to have to gang tackle Wilson all night long.
Particularly outside the tackles, once he gets up that momentum. That looked like the Wilson we saw in the first 2 or 3 carries. Then Sam had stopped him 3 times in a row with a gain of a yard each time.
It'll be 3rd down and a yard at the Sam Houston 29. Offensive line bunched up very close together. On 3rd and 1, Fuller surprises. He goes to the air, caught by Krotz, 20, and dragged down at the 18-yard line.
Nice pass that time, brought down by Clarence Allen, defensive back for Sam Houston.
So on 3rd and short, Fuller goes to the air. Krotz with his 2nd catch of the night. And another first down. They mark it at the 18-yard line. 2:39 left to play in the first period. First down number 4 for the Colts.
It's no secret, John, but that's one of the beauties of being able to throw the ball as well as run it, because you have to keeps that defense loose back there, and they can't just key on Wilson.
At the 18, here's Wilson over left guard, struggling to the 15-yard line. 3 more yards to Wilson's total. It'll be 2nd down 7. Offensive line still intact. They've been that way for most of the year. Jay Willock, number 75. And you mentioned Brian Broniger. Brad, he was very high on Max Enfinger's list. Highest rated Texas blue chipper, according to Max Enfinger, national high school recruiting expert. At the 15, 2nd down 7. Fuller drops back 2 steps, throws to the outside. Was it caught?
Yes.
Yeah, Bates hauled it in at the 10-yard line.
John Wilson has 57 yards now carrying the ball and 10 carries, right at his average.
That's right. So Bates with a nifty catch at the 10. It'll bring up 3rd down and a couple. 3rd down and 2 just outside of the Sam Houston 10. Arlington on a pretty good drive. They've marched 50 yards so far. And I imagine they'll stick to the ground from here on. I formation, open field left for Fuller. And jumping off sides, Willock, number 75, might have jumped the gun, and it'll cost Arlington 5 yards. Motion against the Colts, so it'll bring up 3rd down and 7. No doubt where that play was headed, Brad.
Right.
Over the left side. So now they move it back to the 15-yard line, our first penalty of the night.
This does now present a problem because rather than 3rd and 2, you have 3rd and 7 for Arlington. And what do? Do they give it to Wilson twice in a row and let him pick up that 7 yards? We'll just wait and see.
Number 19, Doug Crott, split out to the left. On 3rd and 7 at the 15. Fuller rolls left. Here's the pressure. Brooks chasing him, and he goes down. Nice pursuit. Pat Brooks as he brings Fuller down at the 26-yard line. A loss of 11 yards. Boy, he never gave up from that left side.
And the biggest thing about that, it just about puts it out of field goal range also.
It's 4th down. And let's see, Fuller's going to stay in there. If they did attempt a field goal, it would be in the range of about 45 yards. 4th down and 17 yards for the Colts, and a timeout called with 12 seconds remaining. So Arlington, with a little benefit of a win, they'll have 12 seconds on 4th down. We'll take a break and be back right after this.
Now every room is wide for cable.
Wow, what a deal.
Cable in every room.
Well, I'll tell you, Beav, I
What's
think I can
this,
handle
the
it for you.
Superstation?
It's the magic.
Wow.
Headline News, I'm Bobby.
In my living room,
It's the magic.
CNN.
Elsa Clinch.
TV was never like this.
It's the magic.
Come on, America. Wire all your sets with cable television.
So you too can experience the magic.
Sam Houston called a timeout. With 12 seconds left in the first period, there is a bit of a crosswind still kicking up down on this end of the field. And we do not see Craig Morrissey. It's 4th and 17. Wide receivers on either side of the line of scrimmage. The backs are split. No doubt providing the blocking for Fuller. Here it comes. It's a screen and almost picked off at the 30-yard line. Pass intended for Richie James and David Hanks in the area of the pass. So Arlington going with a screen, and there is 1 second remaining in the period. Not a bad play call, Brad, but the Sam Houston defense, just too many red shirts around Richie James.
That's right. They didn't have it set up well enough for that screen. And 2 red shirts there. Hanks nearly picked it off. And depending on what kind of speed he's got, of course, he might have lateraled it off to somebody, but he had a clear field all the way.
1 second remaining in the first period as Gary Langley comes on.
We haven't seen Langley throw a pass yet.
82, Greer split out to the left. He drops back. Here's the pressure, and he is smothered at the 17. He is separated from the ball, and it looks like Arlington's got it.
They do.
The Colts have recovered at the Sam Houston 13-yard line. Damon Graham came blitzing in from the left side and just leveled Gary Langley. He is stretched out. That's the end of the first quarter, and we'll be back with the second period right after this.
And viewers talk to elected officials, policymakers, and journalists.
To me, the ultimate special interest group in this country is the Congress people themselves.
I'm mainly concerned about the children that are being allowed to go to school with AIDS. I think that's wrong.
Being one of the people who are outside of the Beltway, I would like to be the small, still voice of reason. Don't the people who print this stuff or put this stuff on the air have any sense of restraint or discretion?
I think the Soviets are really primarily afraid of economic disaster.
And I think a lot of the big government involvement in agriculture has created a lot of the farmers' problems.
Call-in programs air each weekday at 8:30 a.m., 6 p.m., and 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 5:30 a.m., 3 p.m., and 6:30 p.m. Pacific. on C-SPAN, America's network, for people who think for themselves.
Arlington recovers at the Sam Houston 13-yard line. Langley is all right as he left the field under his own power, but a big turnover and a chance for the game's first score. Arlington in 4-down country at the 13. Number 20 out to the right side. That's Mike Meyer. Here's the counter, and Wilson, with all kinds of running room over left guard, gets inside the 10 and is finally secured at the 7-yard line. So John Wilson with about 6 yards.
Chris Cantrell and Greg Edwards on the stop that time. They're working on Langley on the Sam Houston bench. They're standing in front of him, so we really can't see. He might have just gotten his bell rung a little bit. We hope that's all it is, and we hope he'll be able to come back in the game.
2nd down and 4, just outside the Texans' 7. Fuller gives to Wilson right up the middle and just shy of the goal line. It'll be 1st and goal as Wilson got inside the 3.
Number 83, Matt Long, is the one that had him around the ankles, and a couple of other ones polished him off up high. But he's real close to the goal line.
Well, I might have been a little premature. He might be just shy of the 1st down. They put it right on the 3, and that would be a little short. So it's 3rd and inches at the 3. Arlington trying to draw Sam Houston off sides as James gets the call.
Ball was whistled dead before it started.
They'll have to take the penalty on this case, as they did blow it before the snap. You saw a lot of movement off sides.
John, in the first quarter, Sam Houston was held to a -6 yards rushing, and Wilson had 57 yards on 10 carries for Arlington. At that rate, you can project him up at 228 yards for the game.
It'll cost Arlington 5 yards, so they've been penalized 2 times for 10 yards. They spot it at the 8-yard line. It's now 3rd down and 5. 3rd and 5 at the Sam Houston 8-yard line. Arlington trying to go on top. There's the power eye, James the fullback. Back stay put, nobody in motion, play action. Fuller throws to the end zone, caught, touchdown. Nice play action on the receiving end. It's Jody McKenzie. Jody McKenzie playing some offense tonight. And what a time for McKenzie to make his first grab. It'll be an 8-yard pass and run. Fuller to McKenzie, and the Colts are on the board.
I don't think Sam Houston was looking for that one.
They really weren't.
2 penalties for Arlington so far, each one for 5 yards, but both of them have been extremely critical because both of them took them from 3rd and short yardage to 3rd and long yardage.
Morrissey out of the hold of Aaron Estrada. It's on its way, and it's on the board. So with 10:21 left to play in the first half, Arlington opens up a 7-0 lead. We'll be back with a Colt kickoff in just a minute. Which 2 banks in Arlington are locally owned and operated?
Commonwealth Bank, Commonwealth Bank Lamar.
Which banks have friendly employees who really care?
Commonwealth Bank, Commonwealth Bank Lamar.
Where can you get a quick response when you need a loan?
Commonwealth Bank Lamar.
Who has the most convenient banking hours in Arlington?
Commonwealth Bank Lamar.
Come by and see for yourself. There's nothing common about Commonwealth banks. Avoid trouble on the fairway with the experts at Texas Tee Golf Center. At Texas Tee, our computerized golf swing analyzer can isolate all the details of your swing. Once we've identified the problems, we'll custom fit a set of clubs to suit your game. And you'll find incredible name brands like TaylorMade, Hogan, Ping, Ram, and McGregor. Discover other great deals in our large selection of accessories and get in the swing of things at Texas Tee Golf Center in Arlington and Fort Worth. Here's a play, Brad McKenzie wide open at the 2 and into the end zone.
13-yard drive, John, in 3 plays. 8-yard pass from Fuller to McKenzie. Morrissey makes good on the extra point.
So Morrissey will kick off back deep in the middle for Sam Houston, number 24, Jimmy Hawthorne. And he is flanked on the left by Mike LaForest. And over there on the right side, number 18, Clarence Allen. So Morrissey hits it. It'll be gathered in by Hawthorne, and he drops to one knee, and there is the touchback. So Sam Houston will have the ball for the 3rd time here in the first half. As we mentioned, this is the 20th meeting between these two squads. The only shutout came back in 1978 as Arlington won at 7-0. Most lopsided score, 1970. Colts won it at the end by a final score of 48-6. There have been some great games in the past, and we'll talk about some of those games throughout the telecast. 1st and 10.
David Jones is in there quarterback for Sam Houston now.
David Jones, a junior, at the 20, turns, pumps once, throws right side, and just beyond the reach of Greer at the 38-yard line, and a late flag, and it might be on number 22, Chris Cordero. He gave Greer an extra hit and might have cost the Colts 15 yards. David Jones, 172-pound junior, in relief of Gary Langley as he took the shot from Damon Graham in the first period. So the line of scrimmage from the 20, if it is 15 yards, they'll put it down at the 35, and Arlington now in penalties, 25 yards. Well, let's see. No, they put it down, at the 35.
We figured it might be the other way around, John, but so far Mike Fuller is 4 for 7 for 33 yards and a touchdown for Arlington. Sam Houston is the one with the passing attack.
Texans first down, and it comes on the penalty. So number 16, David Jones, the man under. He sends John Greer in motion. He looks towards Greer. He's covered and sacked. Number 54, Greg Sitabaca. Now, he had 10 tackles a couple of weeks ago, and Sitabaca with a sack on Jones. They mark it at the 29-yard line. A loss of 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 16. So Jones is twisted down, and on 2nd and 16, we see John Briere, number 84, come out. He's caught a touchdown pass this year. 2nd and 16 from the Sam Houston 29. And here's the penalty, as Otis Guidry, number 38, might have started towards the line of scrimmage. That's the call, as Guidry had started towards the line of scrimmage. It'll cost Sam Houston 5 yards. And Brad, they're going the other way.
Sure are. Their rushing offense now is a minus 12 yards, John. They haven't had a completed pass yet.
Well, last week I mentioned at the outset that Sam Houston went over 200 yards on the ground against Grapevine. In the air, they passed for 107. This is the number 1 passing team in the district. 1,400 yards coming into this game.
And Langley, the number 7 leading passer in the state, of course, he's on the sidelines right at the moment. We're still trying to spot him over there, John. Don't know what the condition or his status is at the present time.
Well, Sam Houston going to have to burn another timeout. They were late in getting the play called, or at least everybody wasn't set. So on 2nd and 21, Sam Houston calling time. The ball at their own 24-yard line. You know, getting back to Brian Broniger, Brad, Max Imfinger, well-known recruiting expert. Of course, Brian has been scouted by many different colleges this year. I didn't know that he ran that fast of a 40. He runs a 4.940. He's ranked 28th in the nation among all high school senior football players, 6'6" and 235. As you see, the Colt kickers just below us. and to the right. But, Brian's the kind of player where he's going to get better and better. He's 6'6". He's not going to grow much more, but he can add on a few more pounds coming into this year at about 235.
That's high praise coming from University of Nebraska because they're famous for their linemen at that school. And when they say that Broninger is the best lineman in the state, that's saying a lot.
Okay, back to play at the 24-yard line. It's 2nd and 21. Guidry goes in motion. Jones, here's the pressure, throws to Guidry. He's got him. Off of his shoulder pad, should have been caught at the 45. Providing the coverage, Jason Bowers. Yeah. That was a catchable ball and not a bad pass from number 16.
It looked like Bowers
Jones
was kind of lucky on that one, really, because the receiver knew where that ball was. And I don't think Bowers did, and he just happened to hit him just after the ball got there. I don't even think he saw the ball.
It's 3rd and 21. This drive started at the 20. They got the 15-yard penalty. 9:23 left to play in the first half. Colts on top 7-0. Jones, option. Here's the pitch. Guidry can't fight off the tackle.
Oh, great tackle by Jason Bowers. Now, he was on the other side of the field in the secondary on the play before that, and this one now he's in the backfield on the far side of the field. That fella gets around.
Colts are really fired up tonight as Cordero, number 22, drops back deep. And Billy Stewart sending on his punter, Sean Brennan. Brennan gets it off, but it's high and it's short. He had a little bit of pressure from the right side. This bounces at the 42-yard line and goes out of bounds. Very, very high and not much at all on the punt. So they'll mark it at the 42.
About 15 yards.
Right about that. Officially 16 yards on the punt. So just outside the 41-yard line, this is where Arlington will have the ball for the 4th time in the game. Fuller will put it up on first down. He's got Joslin wide open, 35, 30, and struggles to the 29-yard line. Chip Joslin got away from Greg Edwards, and Clarence Allen had to come up and make the tackle on number 88, Chip Joslin.
Edwards has been a godsend in that Sam Houston backfield tonight. He's made several tackles and several saving tackles, really. That one, if he misses it, Joslin might have gone all the way.
1st and 10 at the Texan 30. This might be Wilson over the right side. James is the tailback. Fuller, here's John over the right side to the 28. And that's all. Just a couple of yards for Wilson as Allen combines with David Hanks, number 57. Well, Arlington and Sam Houston played to a 14-14 tie last year at Wildman. 2 years ago, Sam Houston won over at Maverick Stadium by a score of 28-20. I had mentioned the Arlington JV beat Sam Houston on Thursday night, 21-19. So the Colt JV now 5-2 on the year, and the Texans just the opposite at 2-5. 2nd down, 4. Fuller looks left, throws left, and just too tall for the wideout, number 13, Monty Horst, a senior. So it'll bring up 3rd down as number 82 comes in, Dennis McCarty, a senior.
5 for 9 for Fuller now, 45 yards on the game.
At the 28-yard line. It's 3rd down. Well, I give him 4 less yards. 3rd down and about 8. 3rd and 8 as Fuller drops back right over the middle. Caught. 20, 15, and maybe to the 14-yard line.
Edwards
nice
again on the
slant-in
stop.
pattern.
Greg Edwards again makes the tackle. It keeps him out of the end zone.
Dennis McCarty, nice slant-in pattern and took a pretty good shot on the right arm. He will go out, but Arlington registers another 1st down. They spot it at the 15, so he was pushed back for about a half a yard. 1st and 10 with 7:20 left to play in the first half. Arlington leading 7-0 at the 15. Here's Richie James, fights off a couple of tackles and struggles down to the 10-yard line. You would think that James might be a little put out at all the attention that Wilson is getting, but it's just the opposite, Brad. He really likes to block. Richie James, 5'10", 190-pounder. He's going to get his share of calls, but he really doesn't mind blocking and provides an excellent decoy, and he's a nice inside runner. Picks up 4 yards officially. It'll be 2nd down and 6 at the Sam Houston 11.